What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Carbon back for another video. This time I am testing out the Evo 10. No Hesi did drop the JDM servers along with German car servers, certified servers for the new 415 map, so I don't have to keep driving BMWs and other vehicles that basically aren't my cup of tea. But I am now here in the JDM server with an Evo 10, 650 horsepower. If anybody, notices looks familiar, tell me why it looks familiar in the comments. If you could figure it out. I mean, it is a very, very familiar car. It is a great looking car. And yes, you are seeing it right. I did get my personal best of 101 million points, officially a certified demon. The video, the pure raw video, no commentary, about an hour and a half long, where I drive a Nissan Skyline R32 for about an hour and a half without hitting a single car, getting 101 million points. Now, what's funny is that I actually had like 32 million points as my previous personal best, and that put me at like top 80 people in the world. And in this period of like a week, I dropped 100 placements and I was down to like 180. So I had to get back in. After a few tries, I got 100 million points. I wish I could have gotten more. I'm now only top 75 in the world. The top of the leaderboard right now is in the billions. It's 2 billion, 1.8 billion, 1.7 billion, 1.4 billion. Like, if I want to be in the top 20, I'm going to need at least 500 million or more. Let's get this car started, see what it sounds like. It is one of my absolute favorite cars. Yeah, Evo 10 Yaris, 650 horsepower on the new 415 map. I still miss SRP, don't get me wrong. This car does sound absolutely amazing. Get the headlights turned on. It does have this weird shimmery dials. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It is kind of distracting. It is a beautiful, beautiful car. They dropped a couple of Evos for the JDM server, and one of them, apparently, that they didn't add in, caused an uproar in the Discord, and people were like, where's the Evo 9? Where's the Evo 9? I want my Evo 9. Or maybe it was the Evo 6. I don't know. They have a few Evos. I haven't driven them all. This is basically the first one I'm going to have a true run on 415. This Evo 10 does have active DRS. It does have ABS. It does have traction control. So it should make for a pretty easy car to control. Got nice blue flames shooting out the exhaust there. One of the best sounding cars in the game right now, for sure, besides the RX-7. Ooh. This might be a contender for one of the longer runs, maybe to beat my 101 million points. Drop down a gear. Let's see how she does under stress a little bit. All right. See, what's funny is that before, at least a couple months ago or so, that if you got 100 million points on the No Hesi servers, you got what's called a certified demon role. And that's because it was a huge achievement to reach over 100 million points. Since the release of this new map, it has made climbing the leaderboard less about skill and more about endurance. Now, you can have less endurance by driving with a friend, and they follow you closely, and then you get the proximity points right here, and you can get as much as a 10 times multiplier on the SRP map, and you get only up to a 5 times multiplayer here on the 415 map. And that's because it is just too easy to drive this map. As far as I'm concerned, this map is a pay to win, although you can still drive SRP for free, and it shares the leaderboard with 415, because you can still get high points, but it'll take you 10 times longer because they have 2-lane problems on the SRP map. This map is all 3 lanes, sometimes 4 lane, and all you gotta do is not crash. And the closer you drive to other cars, the more of a multiplier you get. So it's really up to you how you want to do a run. You can go very fast and only get a 3 times multiplier. You know, these up here, anytime it's purple, you've passed close enough to get like a 3 times multiplier or more. Not the absolute best car at the moment. Doesn't mean I won't get used to it. Do a little... Excuse me. Professional driver coming through. You can go as fast as you want and only pass some cars closely. You could try to pass almost all of them as close as possible, but the chance of you accidentally tapping a car are much higher. Or you can drive slow, you know, that I've done in some runs, especially the 100 million point run, is that I basically stayed in a 4th gear and I stayed between, I don't know, maybe 90 and 130 mile an hour. Because to me, in the R32 Skyline, anything more than 132 mile an hour, I wouldn't have enough time to react and brake the 2 cars sitting right next to each other, and it wouldn't give me enough time to switch all the way to the 3rd lane. There's many different ways to get on the leaderboard. Go solo, do it with a team. I will say doing it with a team is much faster, but you gotta have a lot of trust in your friend and your buddy that's helping in the proximity. Because all it takes is for the leader to brake a little bit too hard and not give the follower enough time to react, or the follower happens to be just going too fast, not paying much of attention, and just, you know, accidentally bumps into you. Because as soon as one of you bumps into the other, you're both done. You have to restart. And going for an hour and a half, my God. If I could have had an hour and a half with somebody, I think I'd be in the billion points. At least that's how I see it. Because the people on the top of the leaderboard right now with billions of points, I can't tell if they did it solo. I'm assuming they did, because it took them about 4 hours of straight driving. Now, when it comes to 415, like I said, the leaderboard is now going to be mostly about endurance rather than skill. So if you have a bladder that's like Fort Knox and allows you to hold it for very long periods of time, 4 hours should be no problem for you. Your ass might hurt after a while, because again, on these no Hesi certified runs, you can't go below 60 mile an hour or 95 kilometer an hour, or you lose your combo points. Now, those combo points, the highest I ever got up to with that 101 million points is about 6,500 multiplier, which is insane. I'm only at like 30 right now. But every time you pass a car, it's 10 points. But it takes it 10 points by the combo, and then multiplies the speed, and then multiplies the proximity. So as you go, I'm getting, you know, extreme amount of points the longer I go. Eventually you start passing cars and it's like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 points per car that you pass. So the longer you go, the more attainable a billion points seem to be like. I gotta say, though, commentating while driving, this car has been very good for not giving it much attention. Maybe it's the active DRS. Maybe it's the traction control. Maybe it's the electronic stability control. And then you get to this point on the track, just about this point on the hill, and you start to get a little bit more force feedback, slightly. It's like there's bumps in the road. Now, I don't remember that being a part of the map when it first came out. Times I tested it with the other VIP 3s and the top 500ers, and I don't remember it on my previous 30 million point run or my 14 million point run. So I think they've added it as a little bit extra of a challenge, because the force feedback does force your steering wheel back and forth. So it could, you know, look at that. It could take over for you. I let go for just a little bit and it started jerking left and right. I think they're trying to imitate this being a California road, one of the freeways that it's, you know, trying to emulate. And California roads aren't really known for being amazing roads, as far as I know. So it's basically like having a bunch of imperfections and potholes that you have to deal with. I do like the exhaust of the car. I like the blue flames. I don't like the sound of the transmission, that like clicking noise it makes. I almost wish they would make a Fast and Furious server, because they already have the Fast and Furious Eclipse. They have the Fast and Furious RX-7 from Tokyo Drift. I'm pretty sure there's the orange Supra somewhere. They have the black Honda Civic. I mean, they have a few cars from Fast and Furious, enough that I'd say they can put into a Fast and Furious server, including having some Dodge Charger police cars. Because, you know, Dodge and Fast and Furious are basically one and the same now. And if I could just make this Evo 10 red, it would look somewhat like the Tokyo Drift Evo. What I'd really like to get in one of these servers to drive is the Mitsubishi Eclipse from Too Fast, Too Furious, the purple one, and also the green Evo. I think that would be fun because those cars had they had a scene on the track or on the interstate where they were cutting traffic. So it'd be a little bit relatable. This is kind of where the 3-lane turns into a 4-lane, and all the cars in the 3rd lane merge over to the 4th lane, and eventually, like right here, they move back into the 3rd lane, and they'll do it again. They'll move back over into the 4th lane, and then move back over into the 3rd lane. So it can make riding some of these lanes a little bit unpredictable. When you've done a few of these long runs, you can kind of predict the traffic and where certain problems are going to be in traffic, and there's quite a few on this map. There's a few places where some cars won't have enough distance from each other and you won't be able to split, so you have to go around. And there's a few places where vehicles are entering and exiting off ramps, and those can get in your way out of nowhere. So some of these exits, I'm actually gonna shit, like right there. I wanted to stay left, but a car was exiting to the right. I like to stay going this direction. I like to take a left, because then most other people tend to take a right. And I think the thought of that process is since this is a part of a circle that's going round and round, I think people choose the outside because technically it's a little bit longer than the inside, right? That's why you see, like on a running track, maybe at like your school or college or something, there's like staggered starts, because the person who runs on the inside has a shorter distance to run than the people on the outside. So I think people are choosing the outside in that sort of thought process. And when I got my 100 million points, there were like 5 or 6 people going the other way, which is good, because if somebody were to be in front of me, even though they weren't right in front of me, they could still bump into a car like this, and it'll cause that car to stop. And it'll stay stopped as long as it is, or like slow down at least. And it'll stay slowed down as long as it's in my point of view. And if somebody is far enough, behind me and I hit a car, then that vehicle will absolutely destroy the pattern of traffic for anybody else behind me. So that's what I'm always afraid of. And when I did my 100 million point run, I actually had a car a few hundred feet behind me. He was always tracking behind me on the track, like right here, and never got close enough to me. So I'm wondering, after we did 3 or 4 laps around this part of the track, I wonder how many points he got. Because that night when I got 100 million points, I was number 68 on the leaderboard. Now I'm number 75. That was only 2 nights ago, which means that 7 people have already beat my score of 101 million. And I don't know when I'll go for another one of those runs, because doing one of those runs, like I said, for an hour and a half, it was causing my wrist to get stiff, because I'm mainly a one-handed driver, because I'll shift with the other hand, and I've gotten very attuned to that if I even use this other hand, I feel like I have less control of the car than if I'm driving with just one hand. Let's give her some beans and see how she goes. I really don't like the shimmering dials. I mean, it's a cool effect. It's fucking annoying. Alright, back on the interstate after a little bit of an accident. I got distracted by my watch. I thought I was getting a text, but apparently Siri was activated. I must have said something that activated Siri. I don't know, because all of a sudden my watch was going crazy listening to every word I was saying. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, though. Trying to make it a little less long, full of a bunch of annoying talk, but I feel like it's good every once in a while to get a video out that has commentary, because the raw footage of no commentary, no one really wants to watch. But at least it's my proof of something that I achieved. And if it's ever questioned, boom, it's on YouTube. I am liking this car, though. It is a little big. Fuck. It is a little big. It's definitely a lot wider than the R32 or the Civic, which the Civic seems to be absolutely destroying the leaderboards. It is the top 4 cars are the Honda Civic EG6, and they all have over 1 billion points, over 1.5 billion points. But I just don't like using cars that everyone else is using. Like, I was using the Civic until they finally added the JDM server, where I can use cars like this and the R32 and the RX-7. So I'm really excited about that. The Supra A80, all which are certifiable. Oh, shit. Yeah, beautiful car. Handles pretty well. I do think the wideness of a car is pretty important. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. I'm going to continue on here, see if I can't get some sort of long run going in this midday while I wait for the video to process. Stay tuned for the next one. Please subscribe. Please like the video and whatever bullshit other people ask you to do on a YouTube video. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. Peace.